war. Pick up your phone and call right now. 800-932-5517. 800-932-5517. 800-932-5517. Once again, that's 800-932-5517.
Good afternoon, folks, and welcome to Fifth Street Sports. We are on Sports Byline USA and the SB Nation Radio Network. You can also catch us on American Forces Network or on iHeart. We're streaming on Facebook.com/Fifth Street Sports Talk. Also at Twitter, on Twitter at Fifth Street Sports. Today I'm joined with my co-host, Florida Rick. And Rick, we're going to recap the weekend. You know, the last thing on my mind was this Pro Bowl. Boy, talk about... kind of a Xanax kind of game, you know what I mean? How bad was that?
Yeah, it really wasn't the best game to watch as a fan. And if you were watching the line movement closer to post time, you saw that AFC and under were clearly right. And in these type of games, you just follow that steam because the numbers typically not going to matter, and the right side is just going to show itself. And if you get in these type of exhibition games, if you're on the right side come post, you're going to win a very high percentage of the time. But it surely wasn't that exciting of a game. And remember, we talked about earlier in the week, we weren't sure, but I think it was Billy Donlin had asked what the total we think was going to be, and I just guessed 75, going back from previous years, knowing it had gone down the last couple of years, but I still thought, it's going to be well into the 60s or 70s, and it was 55, and we couldn't believe our eyes. Wow, look how low this is. And then you watching the game, and they had no chance getting to 55. I mean, it finished on 33, and even that took a touchdown scored with 11 seconds left in a game that was already out of hand. It was already 19-7, so it was a meaningless touchdown that the AFC scored just to throw it to Jalen Ramsey playing offense, and everyone gets to celebrate the offense, the defensive players scoring a touchdown, just like the NFC was playing all their best offensive players on defense. I can't imagine as a coach of one of those teams that they'd be happy seeing their star running backs playing defensive line and linebacker.
Right. I know. What's strange is, we were tossing around the over. We didn't really know what to make of the game. Tossing around the over, I think Brian and stuff on Friday. But on Sunday morning, I saw so many sharp accounts coming in on the under. I just couldn't. I couldn't pull the trigger on that over. But guys, it's Fifth Street Sports. We got to take a timeout. Back in 3 minutes. Florida Rick and Frank Perez.
O'Reilly. At O'Reilly Auto Parts, we promise you'll get better parts, better prices every day. Our stores are stocked with high-quality parts and accessories at guaranteed low prices, and our friendly, well-trained professionals are standing by to help. So stop in and see how 5 simple words drive everything we do. O'Reilly Auto Parts. Better parts, better prices every day.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Want to fly somewhere? Looking for cheap flights or cheap tickets? Then call. That's right. Call the low-cost airline travel hotline now for prices so low we can't publish them anywhere. Low-cost airlines has all kinds of cheap travel deals. Fly domestically and save up to 75%. You can even fly internationally and save even more. Yes, fly anywhere in the world and save a lot of money on your plane tickets. We'll even save you money with cheap travel deals on hotels, rental cars, even complete travel packages. So don't book your tickets until you call us first for the absolute cheapest prices on U.S. and international airline tickets and hotels. Call right now for prices so low they can't be published. Travel experts are here 24/7 to help. 800-754-4531. 800-754-4531. 800-754-4531. That's 800-754-4531.
Hey travelers, do you want to save money on your next flight? Then pick up the phone and call. That's right, call, because the best prices are not online. They're with SmartFares. See, SmartFares has special deals with the airlines. When they have unsold seats, they use SmartFares to fill them. So you get airline tickets at ridiculously low prices. Our prices are too low to publish online. With the extra money you'll save, you can book another trip or treat yourself to dinner or shopping. So stop searching all of those travel sites to find the lowest price on your next flight. Let one of our SmartFares expert travel agents find ridiculously low prices for you. Call SmartFares today and get the best price on your next flight. Guaranteed. Also, save up to 50% off business and first class tickets.
855-325-1780. 855-325-1780. That's 855-325-1780.
Cars that sound like this. Trust Pennzoil Synthetics to protect their engines in extreme conditions. Top racing teams know that Pennzoil Synthetics give them the performance to help them succeed. And your car's engine deserves the same. Because your daily commute is no less important. Get complete protection for top engine performance, just like the pros. Go to Pennzoil.com/oil change offer to save. Terms apply.
All right, folks, we're back. Fifth Street Sports. We got Florida Rick, my co-host. I'm Frank Perez. You can catch us on iHeartRadio, also on Sports Byline USA Radio Network, and Fifth Street Sports on Facebook, fifthstreetsports.com. Anyways, folks, Rick, I was reading a little article today by Robbie Coleman saying how this Tom Brady's he's doesn't have it and he's getting old and age is being a factor. Now, I looked up the stats in these two playoff games. This guy's actually passed for 71.1% of his passes have been completed and 691 yards in the last two games. I know Brian, he's always been tempted to be a senior basher, and he's been getting on Brady ever since he turned 40. But I got to tell you, brother, I think they're going to be well prepared for this game, and I know it's a square side. How do you like this, Rick? I was on the show today on Wager Talk with Kelly from Las Vegas, and she was giving me some stats. You know, at MGM, 96% of the wagers so far are on the Pats.
Wow. That's really hard to believe in a Super Bowl. I realize it's early in the week and things are going to change once we get to Sunday, but that's mind-boggling. Wow, I had no idea. That's really hard to believe.
Yeah, it's scary. And then, but she loves the Rams, okay? And it's probably theoretically during the season we would be all over the Rams on anything like that. But believe it or not, the Super Bowl is a little bit different. It's like we know the most efficient betting market in the world is the World Cup, and the Super Bowl should be the same, but it's not. The Super Bowl is one game and it's driven by public money. They didn't even know what to put this line at. I got to tell you, any other time besides this in the regular season, I'd be all over the Rams. But I'm going to bite on this Brady-Belichick carrot, and I think I'm going to be sticking with my Patriots.
Yeah, well, you have every right to, and I'm still not really sure who I'm going to be backing on the game. It may be one of those games where take one side, and then during the game you may flip to the other side or get neutral or go back and forth a couple times, kind of seeing how they're playing during the game. But I mean, going back to your original statement about Nick Roby and his comments earlier today, I mean, I think that was just broke a couple of hours ago, and it's something that, of all things, do you really want to do this and give Brady even more reason to to go out there and beat you? He already has enough incentive in the world, and then now the same cornerback who got away with the that brutal pass interference penalty at the end, and the one that happened the previous drive where he clearly interfered with the guy and held him, and they didn't call that either. So this same guy who really should have ended up costing the right to go to the Super Bowl is now the one who's talking trash, saying Brady isn't quarterback he was 10, 15 years ago. He just doesn't seem to have it anymore. He's still a solid quarterback, but he's just not the same Tom Brady that we grew up with, and basically saying he expects that they're gonna give him like a butt kicking on Sunday. And I mean, of all people to do it, and then to give of all people to say it, and of all people to say it about, it's just unbelievable. I can't believe he didn't have a muzzle. Sean McVay and the coaching staff didn't give him a muzzle. I remember the Alabama defensive lineman was doing the same thing, was about to do the same thing in the the semifinal against Oklahoma. And as soon as he started saying about Kyler Murray isn't that, he like shut his mouth. He's like, I'm good. And then he's never said another word. You would think Roby Coleman would kind of do the same thing, but no, he just kept going on and on. It's like he used to play for the Bills, and he was saying he's got Buffalo blood still in him, and he knows he can, he's seen Brady and the Patriots before. He naturally hates the Patriots, and he thinks he can, shut them down on his own as a nickel cornerback. And man, like, you really want to do this to Tom Brady? And I mean, this is not a smart thing to do,
Exactly. Like, what a moron, especially when you got a Hall of Fame great athlete who's aging, but he's still got some spark. Man, the one thing you don't want to do is poke the bear. You do not want to poke the bear. And here he is, exactly. I don't think it's going to affect Brady because he's such a pro. But I was really thinking in this game, once again, with Brady and Belichick, they've been in the Super Bowl 9 times. They're going to be very, very prepared, ready for this game. They're not going to be nervous. You're not going to get any coaching mistakes in your favor. So once again, like I've been saying, for the last 2 games between the Chargers and the Chiefs, is why would you want to bet against these 2 guys? If they're on, whatever Brady can do, if he's only good for 20 or 25-yard passes, believe me, Belichick will have him in that zone the whole time. He completed over 71% of his passes in these last 2 playoff games. Why would you want to poke the bear?
It's just unfathomable that anyone would say it, let alone Roby Coleman. But, you'd think they'd have instructions from McVay, from, the rest of the coaching staff, talk about the game, talk about, our strengths, talk about whatever you want, but don't say anything negative about the Patriots, and definitely don't say anything negative about Tom Brady. It can't help in any way. It can only come back to hurt us. So I guess they didn't do it. And if they did, he said, no, I'm going to go rogue and say what I think and say what I want to say. And he probably wants his name in the paper more than anything else. He's not even a starter. Like I said, he's a nickel back. He's the guy who, he got away with those 2 brutal pass interference penalties. And now he's the one who's saying all this. I don't think he's going to have a job next year with the Rams, no matter how well he plays in the Super Bowl. That's my take.
Exactly. Wagging his tongue. I remember here in Vegas, there used to be a mob attorney. He used to represent all the guys from, all the connected guys, the organized crime guys. And in his office was a big sailfish, huge, beautiful sailfish. Right underneath it, there was a plaque. And right on the plaque, it said, if he would have kept his mouth shut, he would have never got caught. That's the exact same thing. Like, why would you let this moron at a press thing stirring up Brady? But, I was on one of the things that I was on with Las Vegas Chris today on Wager Talk, and we were talking to Kelly about some of the props, and I was telling the people to use some common sense because there's slight correlations to some props, especially ones that you don't want to do. Like, you don't really want to take, like, the running back for the Rams and, to go over in yards, and for Goff to go over in passing, because it's going to be probably one or the other. If they're behind, the passing yards are going to be the winner. But they're not going to be running the ball, and if they're running the ball very well, he's not going to be passing a lot. So there's one where I don't think you could scoop both of those. Like, your thoughts on some of those? Some of those props seem to be like, if you like, it's very unlikely for 2 things to happen, but then again, you can take some that if this happens, then that's probably going to happen, and that's going to happen. So if you're right on 1, you could be right on 5,
Yeah. No, there's definitely correlated props going both ways. I mean, like you said, the only way you're pretty much going to get like Gurley rushing yards over, Goff passing yards over, touchdown passes over, things like that all together is if the game's like, 44-41 type shootout. And even then, you're not likely to win all those plays. Maybe you'll win 3 of 4 or 2 of 3, but that's why we've always said, when in doubt, just bet the unders on props.
Exactly.
Don't even think and just bet unders unless there's something with such a high opinion about that you just know that, say you think the Rams will be down and Goff's going to have to be passing to bring them back, so they're going to have to, maybe completions over or passing yards over, because the way you see the game, you see the Patriots being up, 20 to nothing right away, and at that point they have no choice but to pass to get back in the game. But for the most part, if anything, just close your eyes and just bet under. It's not fun to root for under, because every time somebody throws a pass or catches a ball or runs for a few yards, you're like, oh, he just got closer to going over the total. But in reality, you're going to make a lot more money going under than you will going over at any of these props.
Yeah. And also they were talking today about, like what we thought about the total. And I got to tell you, on this total, I love yours and Brian's play on something, same thing you guys do with the Steelers. I believe in the in-game or the interactive part of the game, if these Rams get down by 2 scores, 10 or 14 points, then I believe that the over would be the play there, because now the Rams got to get out of their rhythm and their running game. So I think that strategy you guys use with Roethlisberger could be a good one in this Super Bowl.
Yeah, and I actually had this conversation with Bry last week, and what we were both saying is that a lot of times Super Bowls get off to slow starts. Everyone's kind of going in that feeling out period. They just want to make sure they don't turn it over, don't do anything crazy right away, and so I will continue after the break. But yeah, that's something we were talking about. We actually game over after maybe the first quarter, or like midway through the first quarter.
All right, folks, we gotta take a break. We'll be right back. 3 minutes, Fifth Street Sports.
Hi, Rick Tittle here. You may know me as the sports talk host that can talk about all sports: football, basketball, baseball, hockey, soccer, golf, tennis, auto racing, boxing, Olympics, rollerball. But this time I'm here to talk about pain. If you have pain in your knee or your back like I do, then you should know about the Health Alert Hotline. If Medicare is your primary insurance, then you could qualify for a back or knee brace at little or no charge. I have an old injury from my football playing days, and anything that can help take that pain away and make it more manageable, that has my attention. I love the free delivery, and they take care of the paperwork for you. So if you have Medicare and need help for back, ankle, knee, or shoulder pain, please call the Health Alert Hotline at 800-428-1570. That's 800-428-1570. Agents are standing by 24/7, so go ahead and call now. 800-428-1570.
Where do you want to go on a vacation or honeymoon? The Caribbean, Europe, Hawaii, Mexico? How about Disney or a cruise? At Superior Cruise and Travel, we've got you covered. We'll assign you your own travel concierge. They'll help you design a custom vacation plan that you can't find online. And the service is completely free. You can't compare the value of this to any other online travel company. We can help you plan a custom vacation anywhere in the world. We even offer payment plans with no credit card required. Now you pay off your vacation on your time schedule. Call now and mention the promo code RADIO and save up to $500. Book your custom trip. Call Superior Cruise and Travel now and talk to one of the highest rated travel agencies in the country with a 5-star A+ online rating.
800-570-9631. 800-570-9631. 800-570-9631. That's 800-570-9631. Do you use the blue pill to charge your sex life? Have you been thinking about trying the blue pill? What if we can promise you the same results for less than $3 a pill? If you're paying $20 a pill for the other pills, you're getting taken to the cleaners. Our pill delivers the exact same results for less than $3. We'll do the math for you. You'll save more than $16 a pill for the same results. Want more? We'll give you 40 blue pills or 40 yellow pills for $99 and add 4 more pills free. You save more than $500. You don't have to be a rocket scientist to know what to do next. You need to call and get your 44 pills for just $99. Stop overpaying for the other blue pills. Call us and start saving a ton of money for the exact same results. Ordering is fast and easy with your pills delivered to your door in a non-marked package. 800-223-0992. 800-223-0992. 800-223-0992. That's 800-223-0992.
All right, folks, we're back here on Fifth Street Sports on Sports Byline, SB Nation Radio Network. Also, we are on iHeartRadio, American Forces Network also. Rick, I just wanted to I'm going to start giving out our picks, and on Thursday when I put up Frankie's Corner, I'm going to have all my props. But here's 2 that I know I'm betting right off the bat. Oh, We got an interruption from Fifth Street Social. Hang on. Oh no, it'll be coming in. It's coming through now. Anyways, Rick, here's two of the props that I'm going to be betting on, and this one's a nice plus price. Over 2.5 players to throw a pass. I think there's going to be one of those trick plays. That's a nice price. Also, I'm going to go ahead and bet over 3 or 3.5 field goals. 3 might be a little pricey, so over 3.5 field goals, because I do believe there's going to be a lot of red zone stops. But by Thursday, I think I'm going to list about 10 or 12 props that I really like, and they're going to be the kind where if you win one, you're probably going to win 4. Of course, if you lose it, you're going to either sweep the board or get swept. I don't know if you got a couple right off the bat that you'd like to throw out there right now.
Hey, Frank, sorry about that. We actually have a message in from John and Marie Lilly on our Facebook live chat from www.facebook.com/Fifth Street Sports Talk, and she says, this is actually a Billy Donlin one. Hold on.
Well,
here we go.
That was an old one.
Yeah, that's an old one. This is the new one here. Great shows, guys. We love following you and made lots of dough on your picks. What do you guys suggest to bet? Please tell us more.
What's Rick and Frank suggest to bet? Well, why don't you answer, John or Rick? I heard she's a big bettor in Georgia. Her and all her girlfriends on the Army base. That's what I heard.
Oh, well, I'm glad we can help her and hopefully some of her friends out with our picks so far. She's been one of our loyal listeners from the beginning too, as well as Kurt and Billy and Jimbo. And, we really thank them for all their, for continued listening, and hopefully they'll stay with us. But as for the Super Bowl, what you just said in terms of wagering, I do agree with your first prop bet, which was over 2.5 players to throw a pass, because you have so many ways you can win that. First of all, yes, there's such a good chance they're going to run some sort of halfback option, and the Todd Gurley will throw back to to Brandon Cooks or even Edelman. Edelman was a former quarterback in college, so he's always in on these type of trick plays where they throw to him and he'll throw it downfield to to Hogan or Dorsett or whoever, or Gronkowski. But so you can win it that way, and then you could also win it the way of a quarterback getting injured, whether it's like a serious injury and out for the game, or even if he just has to miss a few plays or the rest of a series. The backup's going to most likely throw at least one pass. Or you could win it if the game's kind of a blowout and say it's 38-10 and they're in the fourth quarter, and then they're just teams are celebrating and they'll put a backup quarterback in. You can win that way too. They just put them in for the last 7 or 8 minutes, and they just get throw one pass. So you have so many different ways to win that bet. And the fact is, what's usually the juice on that bet? Like, I know you told me you won it last year. What was the juice you had it at?
No, I took plus, but remember I lost it 4 years in a row before that. I was actually taking plus I've taken as high as plus 205, and I felt like such an idiot. I kept thinking, wow, they're giving money away here at plus 205, and I got nothing. Last year I did get it. In fact, last year would have went over 3.5. It's usually plus. Now this year it might be like just plus 140 or 130. I'm not sure exactly, but it's not going to be as high because of that Eagles game last year, and they seen how both of them actually did it. But what do you think about my field goals? You don't think that the over 3 or 3.5 field goals might be a good play?
I don't disagree. I just don't have a real opinion on that. I would rather be on over, I guess. If you gave me a free bet, I would take the over. But what's the typically the juice on that? Is it around even money?
Well, it depends. If you go over 3, it's going to be heavy juice. Over 3.5 is plus 105. But Rick, I think before we get, because the social's coming in again, what do we? John and Marie Lilly. Okay, here's my pick, okay, John. I'm going to go with the Pats, sure. Rick. Why don't you give her yours?
Okay. If she's talking about Super Bowl picks, I'm going to just early on give out the under. I think like I said, that's something that beginning to talk about the end of last segment, but I think the under is a very solid play. I think the game will start off slow. I think it'll be a great opportunity to go in-game betting over if it's like 3-0 towards the end of the first quarter. Maybe it's like 7-3 early second quarter, and then going over something like 48.5 or so and getting 7 points better, because the game will usually pick up later in the first half and then the second half. That's also a bet I always love is, will there be more points scored in the second half than the first half of the Super Bowl? And that's usually around minus 130 or so. Have second half more points in the first half.
Right.
And I think since you just mentioned that, and I just thought of that as we were talking. That's my prop bet for now on Monday before the Super Bowl is there'll be more points scored in the second half than the first half.
So there you go, John. That's one from Rick, one from me. So stay tuned to the show all week because we'll probably end up with about, I don't know, 12, 14, 15 of these different things, especially when Oklahoma Brian comes in and Rick gets a little bit more in tune. Well, when Rick kind of finalizes all his strategies. But, John, stay tuned. And I hope you girls make a lot of money over there on the Army base.
Oh, maybe they're going to the game. Maybe John and her friends are going to the game.
They could be because, they give that military discount. I know she's in the service. She has mentioned that before on the show. She's in the service, so maybe there'll be a military discount. But I hope you guys break all your military bookies out there, all the guys, because you girls got to be kicking their ass with all the stuff we've been giving out.
Especially your picks, Frank. I was telling Brian the other day, I think you've given out something like, you don't give out that many, you've given out 7, 8, 9 straight winners, something like that over the last 2-3 weeks.
Yeah. Oh, I'm glad you caught that, buddy. Because remember, I like that under in the Utah game, under in the other one. Yeah, I didn't quite put him up on Frankie's corner because Brian was making me feel guilty that I was chirping, and I didn't want to, when you and I really wasn't chirping. I was just telling us how I was doing because it's got to be 15 seconds to be an official chirp. You know what I mean? So I kept it. I mean, I watched our clock here on the radio, and it was only 13 seconds, so I was good. But I was going to ask you,
if someone's chirping for you, then it's okay too.
Yeah. What I was going to ask you, Rick, because we got about 4 or 5 minutes on this segment, and in fact, we got 6, so we can really talk a little bit about it. What about this Anthony Davis guy wanting to get traded? What's your feeling on that?
Oh yeah, okay, yeah, you saw that today too. So I guess this morning it came out that he's demanded a trade from New Orleans, and there's only about a week and a half left before the trade deadline. So he's a free agent at the end of next year. So while he's demanding a trade right now, they only have another 9 days or so to make it happen. 9 or 10 days to make it happen this year. That's not very much time, to go through a blockbuster trade. So I'm not convinced it's going to happen this year. I think it's more likely it'll happen in the off season. But all the possibilities are fascinating to think of where he's going to end up and who he's going to be playing with. The main, from what I've been seeing over the last several months, is the main contender would be Boston. But I know they have some salary cap issues because of the whole Kyrie Irving deal, and I know they're going to want to make that work. But I don't think that they'd be able to work out a trade for him in the next 9 days. So if he's going to go to a Boston, it's probably going to have to happen after the year, because that's going to be a lot of paperwork and things are going to have to be moved around for him to actually get a deal in place there. But that would be how amazing would that be? I mean, that would turn Boston to the Golden State of the East. It would probably make Boston and Golden State like assured of playing each other for the championship at least the next 3-4 years down the road. As it is, I think Boston's would be the favorite right now in the East, but you add Anthony Davis to now they are a legitimate contender to possibly beat Golden State in a best of 7 game series, which as of now, as much as I'd like to see it happen, they can't. No one could beat Golden State in a best of 7 right now. No one could have come even close.
So you think you saw that 115-111 game they had. So you think with Anthony Davis that would push him over the top if they met in the finals, right?
Yeah, I mean, at least to the point of competing with them in a full 7 game series. In any one game, sure, Boston could win, but legitimately they have no chance in a 7 game series, as does no other team in the NBA, unless Golden State suffers a few, really bad injuries and they're playing with only 2 or 3 of their 5 superstars. But yeah, I mean, of course, LeBron and Anthony Davis, he got in trouble for saying how he would want Anthony Davis on his team, so he's going to make a real push for him. He's already saying how he hasn't officially said it, but everyone around him saying he wants Luke Walton out, and he obviously wants a coach like a Tyronn Lue that will be like his puppet. He can just tell him to do whatever he wants to do, and then of course he wants to be the GM as well and wants to find a way to get Anthony Davis on the team. I just don't think that'd be a good fit for Anthony Davis, because while LeBron is still a great player, they don't really have any real good role player. So maybe Kyle Kuzma, but Ingram. But I don't think that's a team that would ever seriously compete with. I'm not even sure they'd be the next best team in the West with Anthony Davis. Then you look at maybe a team like San Antonio, but Davis now can choose. He can veto trades to certain teams. Would he want to go there? I don't know. If he went there, could he work with Aldridge, or would they have to get rid of Aldridge? I mean, big city teams, you look at like New York, Chicago, but he only wants to go to a team that he could possibly win a championship with. So he's going to veto any trade to any of those type of teams.
I agree, but as I was watching that game with that 4-point game with Golden State and Boston going at it, I got a feeling, Rick, I know Toronto and Milwaukee are very good and they're probably going to be contending, but I got a feeling that we were watching the NBA Finals preview right there,
I do too. It was such an exciting game. It was so much fun to watch. I haven't had that much fun watching an NBA basketball game in at least a couple of years, and I can't wait till they meet again. I think it's March 7th or March 6th in Golden State, and like you, I think it's going to be the preview of the NBA Finals.
It is. Guys, we got to take a time out. Fifth Street Sports, when we come back, it is going to be our money segment. We're going to give out our releases and our picks that Rick and Oklahoma Brian and myself like. Stay tuned. Back in just a few minutes. Fifth Street Sports.
Valentine's Day is brutal on us guys. The pressure to buy the perfect gift is intense, right? Flowers are always the right call, but here's where it gets dicey. If you show up with produce department flowers that smell like green onions, you're toast. Same with sending stale flowers plus an upsell balloon from some flower giant website. The Bouquets is the ticket. That's short for bouquets, and these flowers are bouquing awesome. Look, there's a huge difference between flowers from the Bouquets and the others. And trust me, she knows it. Bouquets delivers spectacular flowers cut fresh from the finest farms in the world. They even have farms on the side of a volcano that produce the most amazing flowers ever. Bouquets are picked fresh and shipped direct, so they stay fresher longer. And Bouquets cuts out the middleman, so you save big time. Be a hero this Valentine's Day with flowers from the Bouquets. Go to Bouquets.com. That's BOUQS.com and enter the code RON for 20% off. Yeah, 20% off when you enter RON at BOUQS.com. That's Bouquets.com.
Imagine this is your money and someone wants to take it from you. Who is it? The IRS. They want your money, and guess what? They can legally take it, all of it if they want. Remember, they sent you that letter that said, hey, you owe us a bunch of cash and we're going to take it from you. So what do? Fight back by letting our team of experts at the tax helpline work it out with the IRS so you can keep your money. And we're good at what we do. When you hire us, you get a team of guys on your side that know the IRS laws and will fight to save your money. So, if you owe the IRS a ton of cash and you want to keep it, call right now and learn for free how we can help you put it back in your pocket.
800-932-1749. 800-932-1749. 800-932-1749. That's 800-932-1749.
Love daily fantasy but tired of being stuck on the sidelines? We have some great news. Now you can make picks live when the game is on TV, compete against other sports fans, and if you're right, win real cash and get to talk trash. WinView Games is a live sports prediction app that is sweeping the nation, and it's super easy to play. During the game, props are sent straight to your phone. You can compete in tournament-style contests that are available every quarter. WinView also has a $12,500 jackpot during the NFL playoffs called the Perfect Game. It's a winner-take-all prize if you get each prop right during the quarter. So put your sports obsession to better use. Go to winviewgames.com/predict to start cashing in on your sports IQ. That's winviewgames.com/predict. $20 first-time depositors get a $20 playthrough match. WinView Games. When the game is on, it's on.
Hi, folks. We're back. Fifth Street Sports. I'm Frank Perez, joined with my co-host, Florida Rick. Rick, before we get to the picks and our thing, I got a couple things in from Las Vegas Chris really good updates on some of the betting. You know, last year here in Nevada, they handled just under 159 million. Now they're predicting with all the new states coming in what the new handle is going to be. But there's one thing that always makes me think, like, where'd you guys get that? Like last year they said illegally there was $4.76 billion bet illegally. And then that this year they predict that there's going to still be 1.8 million people betting illegally, like offshore with illegal bookmakers. To me, like, I figure, like, how do they know? Who's tracking all this? It's like if you ever watch the animal shows or the Animal Planets that I watch sometimes on Netflix, and they see like a whole bunch of Brazilian ants, and they go, oh, there's a colony of 18 million ants, or there's 30,000 birds. Come on, like, who's counting these things? How do they know that there was $4.76 billion bet last year illegally on the Super Bowl, or that there's going to be 1.8 million people still betting illegally? I mean, are they tapped into all these per heads and these bookmakers?
I don't think so. I think they just randomly survey, several hundred people, and then they calculate what they survey to how many people there are in the United States, and then they just multiply each one by the same number, and they come up with that. But I don't think they survey enough. I think there's way too small of a sample size, and they really have no clue how many people are actually betting illegally or online, or how much is being wagered. I don't have a guess, but I am guessing they're way off on their projections.
Yep. You know, I was just looking at it. Last year they handled almost 159 million here in Nevada, and they only won 0.7%, like just a little over a million. Almost broke even on the thing. That's why the Super Bowl sometimes, they're not so much the square side, because you got to tell me right now, laying $1.10, New England 2.5, what's the sharp side? Who knows? You know what I mean? Like, come on, really. This is the one time that if you're ever going to be Joe Public, it's not that bad of a deal. During the regular season, though, brother, we would be backing up that dump truck going on these Rams. But right now, like, who knows on a game like this? I'm going to be really excited to see just how much they bet with this New Jersey coming in, Delaware, Pennsylvania, even New Mexico's in on the act. Pennsylvania, it's going to be a lot of dough bet on this game. I think it's going to hit $1 billion. I really do.
Yeah, how about New Jersey? Was it New Jersey saying that they're going to cap max bets at $5 million? Like the state, like so many people are coming in there to bet more than $5 million on a game. So I guess we know we won't get any $5 million bets on the game in New Jersey. So we have that going for us.
How do you make a $5 million bet? No, because a friend of mine says that I think $1 million in hundreds, they were weighing it, and I think it's 22 to 23 pounds for $1 million. So a guy's going to bet $5.5 million. You're talking about 115. You're talking about 126 pounds of hundreds that the guy's got to walk in and just put on the counter. I mean, that's kind of. I remember there was a big time high roller at the Horseshoe back in the 80s. And this guy would always come in, because Benny Binion would let you bet whatever you wanted on one hand or one roll of the dice, as long as it was your first one. You couldn't be sitting there betting $20, and $1 million. If it was your first bet, he said, just put it in the square, sonny. Put whatever you want. So there was this guy that was real famous. I don't know how many times he did it, like 7 or 8 times. He'd come in with 2 valises. One would be empty and one would be full. And he bet 700 or 750,000 on the pass line. So if he won, he would say, fill up this valise. If he lost, he'd just empty it out and walk out with 2 empty valises. And I think he won more than he lost. But that was 750. $5.5 million, brother. You're talking about 127 pounds almost in $100 bills,
Yeah, it's so funny when they have these people that have no idea about what they're making rules about. And I don't know if you even saw that, because I saw this a few days ago. I don't think it was ever brought up on the show, or if it was, I didn't hear it. But I couldn't stop laughing that they're capping bets at the state, saying that you can only cap bets at $5 million a bet. Like, good luck seeing which sportsbook's going to take a $5 million bet, and then having a player come with $5 million in cash, flopping it down on a bet. But
yeah, it's probably done. It's probably done by, they'll probably wire it in and wire it out, but. That's that seems to be a little ridiculous. So anyway, so Rick, so with that being said, brother, we are running into the part where the people are absolutely jonesing for some of your money-making selections here. I've got two when you finish.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, I guess I'll start. So it is a very light night in both the NBA and college basketball. I think there's only 5 NBA games and 3 true college games. They have a bunch of the little smaller conference games where some sports books will take $100 bets and so forth. But I mean, there's really no point in ever getting into those because you can't even bet them at most books. And if you could, we're talking about $50, $100 minimum bet or maximum bets. So, we really only have 8 basketball games, on the slot tonight, and there's no hockey because, the All-Star break was just this weekend, which I don't know if you watched those NHL All-Star games, but wow, that is I don't know. I didn't know that was the real All-Star game. I thought it was like the skills competition. And so they have like the 4 conferences or the 4 divisions. They take the top players in each division and they field like a team. Did you see this? They played 3-on-3 against another division.
No, I didn't.
The winners meet.
No.
So I thought that was, like a fun little little games and the skills competition, and the game's going to be the next day. But no, that was the actual All-Star game. That's what the NHL All-Star game is now. You have 3 mini games, 3-on-3. So there's a ton of goals. I think the totals are usually like 11 and a half, 12 and a half. You have 2 10-minute periods. No one, of course, is doing any hitting. It's just, like play exhibition hockey. And there's a lot of goals. So I guess that's what I don't know. Maybe it's just me. Maybe I'm not really a hockey fan.
Did they both go over?
Well, there was 3 games, and I think 2 of them went over. I think 2 of the 3 went over because they're all played back to back to back.
Okay.
So I want to say 2 of the 3 went over, and none of them were close. The games were all like 9-3 or 10-2. There was not one game that was 6-5 or 8-7. So it's bad enough as it is to do. I mean, that's a fun little concept, but I don't think that should be the actual game. I think that should just be the pregame, or then they should have a real 5-on-5 hockey game. Right. Of course, you're still going to get a lot of goals, and you're not going to have any checking, and everyone's still going to be smiling and laughing. But you should still have a real game. I don't know. Maybe that's just me. I don't know if I'm a hockey purist or not because I'm not really much of a hockey fan. But that just didn't excite me, and I kind of turned it off right away.
Rick, that's why I think of all the Pro Bowls or All-Star games, still the purest one is still baseball by far, as far as an All-Star game. For
sure. I mean, even though there may be some joking and mess around there, you're still getting everyone at their top effort. They don't have to worry about, injuries and hitting other guys and potentially giving them, serious knee injuries or like in football or basketball. And you're usually going to get a low-scoring, hard-fought game. And it's by far the most fun to watch because everyone is giving it their all, and they don't really have to veer off and like the other sports do and worry about not risking injury because it's still baseball here.
Yeah, and then
you really only risk injury getting hit by a pitch.
Especially in baseball, like when you are a batter, right? Now that when you're up to bat, like the whole country's watching you. And you're so isolated. It's just you. You don't want to strike out. You don't want to just. I mean, what are you going to do when? Meanwhile, it's a football or basketball game. You might be just, sloughing it off, running down the field. But when you're up there isolated against a pitcher, the whole country's on you. You know what I mean? Everybody's just watching you, and you do want to get a hit. And when you're pitching, you don't want to be throwing up home run balls. So it's really played with, players trying to give their best. Instead of just a fooling around thing. But Rick, we got about maybe 5 or 6 more minutes, so we got to give out some of these plays. So get to your NBA and or college if you have something.
All right, yeah, I think since we have such a light slate, I'm going to quickly just go over every game in the NBA and give it my take and what I think. So the first game is Golden State at Indiana. This is a really, really tough game, actually. Golden State's won 10 in a row, 12 of 13. They've covered all but 3 of those 12 wins. They're obviously on a roll. We gave a couple of the losses I've had over the last 2 weeks was going against Golden State, and I told you I think we got to stop going against. Or you said to me, you're not jumping off that Golden Gate Bridge anymore, and I agreed with you. I said, yeah, it's it's really hard to bet against them right now. But of course, the public now is just going crazy. Every Golden State game now, public is minimum 80%. I think the Boston game was a little different because Boston is such a big team, and it was at Boston and national TV. But every other game since then, it's been like 80, 85%, even 90% on Golden State. Today, the public is now 84% betting Golden State. The line has actually gone from 8.5 to 7. Indiana's without Oladipo. It's one of these games that you think, well, you can only be on Golden State. And I'm telling you right now, Indiana's the right side. I'm not betting Indiana because I can't do it against Golden State. I can't lose more money betting against this team. But Indiana's clearly the right side. So Indiana, if you can do it, if you can hold your nose and just bet Indiana, they're the right side. Knicks for Charlotte. Knicks are getting 12 at Charlotte. Knicks are playing back-to-back after losing to Miami at home last night, traveling to Charlotte. Still a lot of points. I would lean Knicks here. Not an all-in play by any means, but I would lean Knicks. Next game, 5:33, Brooklyn playing at Boston. Boston's a 9-point favorite coming off that loss against Golden State Saturday night. Brooklyn's playing great basketball, as we know. I think they've won around 19 of the last 24 games or 19 of the last 25 games. This seems like a lot of points going into Boston, but I think Boston's, wants to show how good they really are. I would lean Celtics here, but very slightly. Wouldn't make this a pure play. Game 5:35 is next. Is Denver at Memphis. Denver is giving 5.5 at Memphis. I do like Memphis here. Memphis had a nice win the other night against Indiana. They pretty much went wire to wire in that game. Denver's been traveling. This is going to be a tough game for Denver. I imagine Denver may get out there with a win, but I think it's going to be a real close game. And I really like getting 5.5. You might be able to get 6 at a few books. So shop around if you have a few books, and if you get Memphis +6, that's one of my plays for sure. And then going to the last game of the night in the NBA is Atlanta at the Clippers. It's actually the only West Coast game. Every other game is 8 Eastern or earlier, but this is a 10:30 game. The Clippers are 6 at home against Atlanta. And I like Atlanta. I like Atlanta a lot here. I think the Clippers had a really nice win against Sacramento the other day. I kind of think it was a phony win. I don't think the Clippers are a very good team. I think Atlanta's coming on. I actually like Atlanta's team more than the Clippers, and you're getting 6 points, so I'm going to give out Atlanta. So my two picks I'm actually giving out are going to be 5:36 Memphis +5.5 and 5:37 Atlanta +6. But if you can hold your nose and do it, just throw a quarter unit on Indiana, and you'll probably be cashing your ticket at the end of the game. But I can't do it. I can't bet against Golden State right now.
Wow, nice picks, buddy. I like them. I'm going to go on the junior circuit really quick because I know we got a commercial break in about 15 seconds. But just to get you started, first of all, I like all 3 dogs in the NCAA, like the Notre Dame, TCU, and Baylor. But I especially, my one I really like is this TCU getting 5.5 against Texas Tech. When we come back, folks, I will give out the rest of my NCAA card, and we've got to take a small time out. Join us in 3 minutes.
Being a new parent means every high and low you can imagine. But Evos can make it all easier with a baby monitor you can trust. Go to myevos.com, that's MYEVOZ.com, to see how Evos can be the eyes and ears of your nursery. Evos works with your smartphone to provide a live audio and HD video connection to your baby anytime and anywhere. On a date, at work, away on business, even serving your country overseas, Evos helps you never miss a moment. Whether your baby is with a sitter, your partner, a grandparent, or a friend, you'll be right there too. And with unique features like smart alerts that know the difference between a barking dog and your baby crying, extensive sleep tracking data, and state-of-the-art security features for your peace of mind, Evos is the smart baby monitor for connected parents. And enter the code SPORTS at checkout for $20 off. That's myevos.com. MYEVOZ.com.
If you or someone you love suffers from drug addiction, now is the time to utilize your private health insurance PPO plan. If eligible, receive up to $30,000 or more in substance abuse benefits with low or no out-of-pocket cost. We are the National Treatment Network, the premier drug and alcohol treatment referral service operating 24/7. We help connect you with facilities nationwide that accepts PPO private health insurance for substance abuse. If you have PPO substance abuse coverage and you need immediate admittance to a medical detox or residential rehab treatment center, call us now. Call our live referral helpline today. The call is free. This program is not available to Medicare or Medicaid customers.
Call 800-296-1252. 800-296-1252. 800-296-1252. That's 800-296-1252.
Not too long ago, it felt good to withdraw your cash from the bank, didn't it? For a vacation or a new car. But today, withdrawing your own cash has become risky. Pat Boone here for Swiss America. According to The Secret War, a new Swiss America white paper, I learned that all banks are now required to spy on you and me for the government, and then report any financial behavior deemed suspicious or unusual. You must read The Secret War. It's free. Truth is, I believe the government's new war against cash is really a war against us all. But the secret is now out. So please, get and read The Secret War.
Pick up your phone and call right now. 800-932-5517. 800-932-5517. 800-932-5517. Once again, that's 800-932-5517.
All right, folks, we're back. Fifth Street Sports. This is our small segment, but we give out the rest of our plays. Okay, Rick, so during the break, Brian messaged in, and I think this is a good one because I know, I'm not sure, but I think you like TCU. That's my play. Brian messaged in that he loves TCU. So now we got a three-way match. And when you get a three-way match on Fifth Street Sports, that is when you take the rubber band off the bankroll, my friend. So we're going to go with TCU +5 against Texas Tech. But my other play that I like a little bit, I don't know if it matches you, because Brian also messaged in that he liked the Duke-Notre Dame game over. I think it was 152. So that's going to be one of our plays. But I like this Baylor getting 6 against Oklahoma. What's your take on that one?
Okay. I know we only have a couple minutes, but I think TCU might be the best play of the night. I love them +5. I think you're getting a much better team here. Teams going in two opposite directions. Texas Tech was ranked as high, I think, as number 8. They're now fallen. I think they're like in the 20 range or maybe even 25. But yeah, TCU is going into Texas Tech, getting 5. I really like them here to cover. I'd like them to win the game. You can get +180, +185 money line. Maybe even some books might be +200. So I'm with you there. Brian loves Baylor as well. I would lean Baylor as well, +6 here against Oklahoma.
Well,
I think these teams are.
Hold it, Rick. I just got some messaging in from Brian. He loves Baylor too, so he wants to release as part of his. So that's 2 games that 3 of us match on. So I mean, buddy. I mean, you got to just. This is the time to go to the payday loan company, take the rubber band off the bankroll. I mean, when the 3 of us match on 2 games, it's almost like cold fusion or splitting the atom or something. I really believe these 2 games are going to be really good, really good.
I do, and I think if you even throw a unit on the spreads and throw a half unit maybe or a quarter unit on money lines, you can get Baylor money line around +1, +210, +220. Around and the TCU one +180, +185. So yeah, those would be my 2 college plays. Your 2 college plays and Bry's 2 college plays.
So there you go, folks. You got all Rick's baskets. We like Atlanta, Rick. We like Atlanta. We like Baylor, TCU over Notre Dame. But bankroll plays, TCU and Baylor +5, +6. Thank you for listening. We appreciate you, Fifth Street Sports. We'll see you tomorrow, 1 p.m. Pacific, 4 p.m. Eastern. Thanks for listening.